Mack Weldon, it's better than the underwear you're wearing right now. I'll tell you that. I vouch for that. I wear it all the time. And guess who's here in the studio? I always talk about her. My wife happened to stop by, so she's here to vouch for me. Mack Weldon.
You look really good in those Mack Weldons, babe.
I look good. My wife clearly uncomfortable to be on mic, but very passionate in the fact it looks better than that brand I used to wear that shall not be named.
It's a nice cut. Very flattering.
Very flattering cut. We heard it here on Beautiful Anonymous. Mack Weldon, it's the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, sweatpants you'll ever wear. They want you to be comfortable. If you don't like your first pair, you keep it. They'll still refund you, no questions asked. Not only do they look good, they perform well too. Good for working out, go to work dates. I can vouch for that. We've been on some good dates while I'm wearing Mack Weldon to get my confidence up. Go to MackWeldon.com. Get 20% off using promo code BEAUTIFUL. When you're trying to tell your story to the world, I can vouch for it personally. MailChimp can help for free. They've got gorgeous pre-designed email templates. You can also code your own, make it feel personal. It's one of my favorite things about using MailChimp, which I've done for many years. You send people an email. It really comes from you. You can feel it. You can make it personal. You put in a little effort. They make it so easy to do so. It shows up in their inbox. They know you put that personal thought into it. They'll show you how to send, when you should send, why people open an email or why they delete it. They'll also help you find your audience. They'll help you grow your business. MailChimp can help you tell your story effectively and find people who care about it. More at MailChimp.com. Hello, all you undercover badasses. It's Beautiful Anonymous. 1 hour, one phone call, no names, no holds barred.
I'd rather go one-on-one. I think it'll be more fun, and I'll get to know you, and you'll get to know me.
Hey, everybody. It's Gethard here, and you're about to hear a conversation that I personally felt so lucky that I got to have it. Here, you're about to hear from a person who has walked the razor's edge, has seen some hard stuff up close, and this caller was so cool and positive in the face of a lot of really hard stuff. Really woke me up. Makes me feel pretty grateful about life. So caller, thank you not just for the call, but genuinely for the perspective and the positivity, and for being such a breath of fresh air while talking about some stuff that is not a breath of fresh air at all. I hope you guys all enjoy this call.
Thank you for calling Beautiful Anonymous. A beeping noise will indicate when you are on the show with the host.
Hello.
Hi.
Is this Chris?
Yeah.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. I saw your message said something, very different from you, and I think also maybe different from your usual folks. And so here I am. I'm 46 years old and single parent and kid. So I just thought it might be cool to call and shake things up a little.
Yeah, I'm into that. Thanks for calling.
Yay, thanks.
Yeah. You sound into this. You don't sound nervous at all. I've been getting lots of nervous people lately. You sound like you're just chilling.
Yeah, I'm actually at work. I'm hopeful that, and I'm in my office with door closed. I'm really hopeful that nobody is looking for me. Yeah, and I have my phone plugged in this really awkward position, but that's okay.
So you're hiding out at work. You're hiding out at work, crouching next to an outlet right now.
Yes, that's exactly correct.
All right, fair.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, you go. It's your call. You go for it.
Okay. I was kind of thinking how I've been reflecting lately, especially because right now it's October. I don't know when this will air, but it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm a survivor.
Oh wow!
And it's 5 years actually this month that I'm cancer free. So it's really exciting. I think maybe that's why I'm feeling so good right now.
Wow! Congrats! Good for you.
Thank you.
So you're a single mom and you had breast cancer?
I know. Yeah.
How old? How many kids do you have? How old are they?
I just have one who's 13, a son, and
wow.
He's awesome. And yeah, we've been through a lot together. I mean, we got divorced from his dad when he was young, and had a lot of cancer in my family. Unfortunately, my dad passed away years ago from cancer, and my mom 2 years ago from cancer.
Wow.
And I know. And then I had it, and also my boyfriend right after my mom passed away. So it's just been really crazy.
Your boyfriend passed away as well?
No. He's still around. Thank God. Yes. No. He's doing good.
So you're both cancer survivors.
Yes, exactly.
And you guys are still together?
Yeah.
Wow. That's more cancer than one person should have to deal with in life.
Right? I know. It really stinks.
And do you live with your boyfriend?
I'm hoping that it's all behind us. Yes. We didn't at the time when he had cancer. In fact, we had planned on moving in together, and then it was like, oh, you have cancer. And he's like, well, let's wait until, things are kind of more normal. So, but yes, we do now.
And did you live together when you had cancer 5 years ago?
No, but in fact, I was single, like for real single, and I, had been kind of off and on doing the online dating thing, and so it's kind of like on the, like, oh, I'm kind of getting out of the, cancer stuff, and I was still growing my hair back from chemo, and I just was coming across a couple, go out with a guy and then like kind of like each other. And then I'd be like, oh, I have breast cancer and scars and this and that. And then they were like out of there,
Wow.
And so I decided I was just going to like throw it out there, next time I posted online, and not, totally here's all my business, but just like I'm a breast cancer survivor, just so you know, like so that people kind of know what they're getting into. And my boyfriend was like the only one who messaged me, and he was awesome. So
that's
he knew
cool.
what he was getting into.
That must be good to realize. Like I'm getting into this thing with somebody who, at the very least, I know, open-minded, good-hearted person. It's a pretty good starting point.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Wow, I have so many questions.
Okay.
So like, I don't want.
Oh, gosh, I have like an alarm going off on my phone. Can you hold on just 1 second? I'm sorry. Hold on, I hope I don't get disconnected.
Was it for some important work thing that you're now skipping to talk to me?
Okay. Are you there? Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm here. What was the alarm for? Big board meeting?
I was supposed to, yeah, actually, no, I think it was like, oh, I have to do something on the computer, but it can wait. It's not the end of the world.
You're sure? I'm not going to get you fired, right? You're not going to get fired for talking to me.
No, you're really not, I swear. There's like nobody here, so.
Okay, good.
I'm good.
So here's my first question. I don't want to get too grim, but just like piecing together all the timing of it. So you're a single mom. Yeah. Your boy is 8 years old. You get cancer. You've lost both your parents to cancer. There must be a world of emotions there that really, I would imagine not too many people have lived through.
Yeah, it was a tough time. Although when my mom passed away actually after kind of the majority of the issues of my cancer happened. So by the time she passed away, I was doing pretty well and kind of out of it. It actually, if you have to have cancer with your mom, it worked out well because sort of like when I was doing bad, she was doing good and kind of vice versa. So we really helped each other get through. So she totally helped with my son, and his dad totally was, really like, whatever you need, I'll help and stuff. So
that's good. So he's still in the picture. He's helping out.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes, definitely.
I have to give you credit right away. That was by far, I would imagine, the most positivity-laced answer to a severely grim question in the history of this show.
Wow, yay. It's sort of like, it's in the past. I probably, if I have to say anything that was the hardest, my mom was just the greatest, and she was, sick for several years. It wasn't a surprise, but I think about her every day. So that's hard for me. Definitely, I miss her. I think about and to this day, like when something happens, like probably when I get off the phone here, probably the first thing I would normally do is call my mom. So, that part's hard, but yeah, I've always kind of had a positive attitude, pretty much about my cancer. Anyway.
Yeah, I have to say, I applaud that positivity. I would imagine it must be hard to summon that in the face of all this, and you did that immediately. I feel like I opened up 3 or 4 doors to real grim conversation. You said, no, you know what? We're good to go. It's in the past. Let's let it be the past.
Exactly. And, it comes up on me occasionally. Like a couple months ago, I thought I felt a lump, and, I was in a massive panic, and I had an MRI, and it was nothing. So, it definitely comes upon me for sure.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I think you have to, I saw kind of a difference with both my parents. My dad was pretty difficult, not throughout his life, but just when he was sick and just really negative. And I think it kind of hastened everything to go a little bit worse. And my mom was the opposite, and I think she stuck around much longer than maybe she was expected to. So I think that was kind of a role model for me. And, I didn't want to freak out my son. And, I kind of, when you're a mom, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. How did he handle it? Was he must have been scared, or did you just kind of like shelter him from it at all? Or I would imagine having a son when you've already having a child when you've lost a parent, did you learn from your experience as a child how to be a parent in that situation?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. I don't think I've ever thought of that before, but I can say funny enough, it's actually not funny, but my mom had breast cancer when I was a child. So, and she had a different cancer when she passed away, but, and I basically didn't know that she had cancer when I was a kid until I was much, much older, probably like a late teenager. And, and it's weird for me that I didn't know, and it was very, kind of Mom's in the hospital, she's okay. And I just knew I couldn't go in her room sometimes. It's just, it's kind of weird and secretive, and I just definitely knew I didn't want to do that with my son. And I think, that was more the time. I'm not, saying anything bad about my parents. I think back then it was you whispered about cancer, and stuff like that. So, but no, I was pretty open with him. I wasn't oh, people die, but I didn't want him to be that scared. But I was just I have this thing, and, and I have to have surgery, and I have to have this, and kind of warning him in advance, after the chemo, I'm not going to be feeling good and lose my hair. He's actually the only person, he asked me if he could see me bald. I have a lot of curly hair. He asked me if he could see me bald, and he was the only person that I let see me bald.
Wow. That's
I know.
That's such a specific bonding thing. Was it just out of his pure curiosity, or? Yeah, because I have long brown curly hair, and I think he was just obviously I was wearing a wig, outside, and when I was inside the house, I was wearing a little cap or something over my head. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was just wow.
So it was just curiosity, and then he didn't react. He didn't react big one way or the other?
He actually was kind of oh my God, but with a smile, not God, that's crazy, but not horrified, I think I just always kept it really light, and even there was a few times I was feeling terrible after chemo, but other than that, I was pretty light, and my mom was really good about let's make Mom a picture or a card and stuff like that, and he felt he was helping, doing something, and so, so I think it wasn't super scary for him. And I think even at that age, I don't think you know exactly what cancer is. And so you've heard the word, but I remember one time saying to him, or saying to somebody, I'm a cancer survivor. And he was so does that mean that people die from cancer? This was years ago. And it occurred to me that he didn't even realize that there was a possibility that, I could die.
Yeah. It's intense.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're 5 years out.
Mm-hmm.
So how
Mm-hmm.
do you have to get screened all the time, huh?
Yes, in fact, I just went to my oncologist on Monday.
How often do you get checked out?
About every 6 months, unless I'm having a freak out about something. So that was a couple months ago. I had an extra appointment, but every 6 months I go. And I go really regularly to my regular doctor. I'm really on top of. I just don't want to get caught.
Yeah. And can I ask? This might be sensitive. If you don't want to talk about it, that's okay. But I have not. Knock on wood, I have not dealt with this in my close circle. Have you? Did you have? Is it a mastectomy?
Oh yeah, no, totally. You can ask. Yes, I did have a double mastectomy, and then I had I had actually 2 reconstruction surgeries. I had kind of a difficult time with the reconstruction. It was first time got it a little messed up. And I had chemo and I had radiation and I had the whole deal. And recently, this is super cool, and maybe this is too much information, but I had heard that sometimes people got tattoos on their breasts after they have reconstruction or even non-reconstruction, just because you're really scarred up and everything, and that doesn't really go away. And I decided that I wanted to do that, and I got these lotus flowers. I just did it recently, a few weeks ago, and it looks really great, and I love it. And so now it's I don't hate looking in the mirror.
Wow. So you have flowers. Were you a tattoo person prior to that?
I have 2 little ones. If you saw me wearing normal clothes, you wouldn't know. They were really little.
Yeah.
So this is big. I mean, these were hours and hours and hours, big. And you can kind of see on my shoulder and that. It kind of went up a little bit and stuff. So, yeah.
That's cool. How's your boyfriend? Your boyfriend's into the tattoos?
He doesn't have any, and I did clear it with him. I mean, not would he allow me, but he's the one that's gonna look at me, and he was like, oh, I think that's awesome, go for it, So now that it's done, he likes it, and I really like it. So
that's cool. It's heartbreaking to hear someone so relentlessly cheerful 16 minutes in say, and now I don't feel bad looking in the mirror. You did let some of the pathos shine through on that one.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it is, interestingly, have you, I started recently, I totally did not know that, other people did this, but I started watching One Mississippi. Have you ever seen that show on Amazon?
I have not had the pleasure.
Tig Notaro.
Oh, Tig's the best. Oh, it's Tig's show. I knew Tig had a show.
Yeah. And she has, she had breast cancer also, and it's kind of I think semi, autobiographical. And she has one of the shows of it is she will not look at herself in the mirror. And I was totally oh my God, I am the same way. So then I was oh my God, everybody must be like that too. So that really, I think, spurred me on to say that it's time for me to be able to look in the mirror and not wrinkle my nose about it. So.
Wow. That's cool. Tig Notaro doing some good via One Mississippi.
Yeah.
I have to watch that show. I love Tig so much.
Yeah, it's so good. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it.
That's cool. I have to confess, in my ignorance, because I'm a very ignorant person, I think this show has exposed that again and again. I always thought once someone had a double mastectomy that it could not recur, but it can recur even in a reconstruction situation, huh?
It can. I mean, I think it's definitely less likely, but I think because you still, they do, remove, I don't know, gross, but they do remove, most of the tissue, but, you still have the wall sort of like where your skin is, that, something, potentially could have been like hiding in there, or, something could develop, is kind of how it was explained to me. Probably has people listening who are like, that is absolutely not true, but that's kind of how I thought that the doctors explained it to me. But and that's why they do like the chemo and the radiation to kind of, see if they can just kill anything that's like still lingering.
Yeah. And it sounds to me like we're talking, here's the thing that I'm feeling on my end. It's like we're talking about cancer. Cancer has affected you in so many ways, both personally and in the people you love, right in your immediate family. But it also feels like we keep bringing up that you do talk about it with such, positivity in your voice and everything. Would you say it's like the defining aspect of your life, or do you refuse to let it be, or are you wrangling it and saying if it is, that it's going to be on my terms? Like where do you sit with it overall?
That is such an excellent question. Yes, I think it is definitely the defining point of my life, for sure. I think like everything changed after, and really, I know it's so weird, but I think it almost like changed for the good. Like I just came to a realization, especially after my mom passed away too, that I know it's totally cliche, but life is short, and I just, I used to kind of be like, I don't have enough money for this, that, I just was kind of like bemoaning, like, I got a divorce, and then I was like, you know what, that's just bullshit. Like, right now I decided to go back to school to get my master's and totally changing my career and everything. And, I'm 46, I'm not, a young chick, but I just was like, why spend the next 20 years working somewhere you don't want to work and doing something you don't want to do? And I encourage my boyfriend, like, let's go to Europe. Let's do, I just like, let's do things. I don't want to regret.
I'm going to go ahead and drop a word I don't drop so often in life. You're an inspiring person.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
I don't think anybody's arguing that at this point. She is inspiring, right? And it only rolls from there. I tell you, I'm not going to dance around this one so much when we come back. But in the meantime, we got a whole lot of sponsors. They're the people that allow this show to happen. Let's go ahead and check out the products, the services from our sponsors. Finding the right gift for your loved ones, it can be really impossible, especially guys. It is so hard to shop for guys, okay? How difficult is it finding something that's thoughtful, but also useful and practical? I want to tell you about Harry's. Harry's is such a cool service. They have these shave kits. They make great gifts. They're very, very practical. Think about that. People use them during such personal moments, and they'll always think of you when they do. You can make it personal too. You can get it engraved, all that. I have a Harry's kit. It comes in such a nice box. This is not, you go to the drugstore, you get your razors and your stuff, and it's like it's in some packet, that plastic stuff where there's no way to actually open it. You have to stab it apart and rip. No, this comes in a nice box. You open it. Feels classy. Feels cool. If you have not heard of them before, Harry's was started by two best friends, Jeff and Andy. They were fed up with being overcharged for razors. They started their own razor company to give people what they deserve, great shave at a fair price. This holiday, Harry's is offering a limited edition shaving set, Midnight Blue Chrome Razor Handle, which you can get engraved with initials, 3 of Harry's German-engineered 5-blade cartridges that provide a close, comfortable shave, foaming shave cream that smells amazing, beautifully designed gift box goes for $30 on harrys.com. They also offer handles and sets starting at just $10 if you haven't tried Harry's for yourself. Free shipping ends on December 9th, so act now. Go to harrys.com right now. Get a limited edition holiday shave set while supplies last. Don't forget to enter code BEAUTIFUL at checkout for $5 off. That's harrys.com, code BEAUTIFUL. Thank you so much to all our sponsors, and thank you to our caller who's really opening up, telling us how real life works. I'm psyched to hear more. I hope you are too. Back to the call. I'm going to go ahead and drop a word I don't drop so often in life. You're an inspiring person.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
We're talking about someone who's seen cancer in your parents, in your boyfriend, in yourself. Single mom of many years. Working hard. Currently hiding from work, of course, but in general. working 9 to 5 job, also going back to school, also seeing the world, also not letting cancer become this thing that makes you a morose person, but rather a thoughtful and philosophical person, I'm going to go ahead and say everybody should try to live a little more like you. I'm going to go ahead and declare that 20 minutes in.
Wow. Thank you. That's very nice.
How do you do all this?
Nice.
How do you work and go back to school and raise a kid and have a boyfriend and travel and have cancer? How do you do all that?
Well, I didn't do the school thing, during the cancer thing. That would have been too crazy. But
yeah, I'm sure you don't like trot on down to the registrar right after you get that news. You probably take a couple days off.
Exactly.
Walk me through. Exactly. Can you tell me your daily schedule? Like, what's an average day like for you?
It's not crazy. I mean, get up and take my son to school and go to work, and it's normal. Like everybody else, come home and dinner, take him to baseball. And in between there, I have homework and reading, and it's not. I don't know. I kind of, if I have a lot of stuff to do during the week, I usually on Saturday and Sunday squeeze in some time and to do work, and then I actually do go to a classroom one night a week. I don't just do it online, and I don't know. I like
no. Hey, I can't. Come on, just listening to yourself. You're like, yeah, it's no big deal. I wake up early. I get my son to school. I go to work. I come home. I cook dinner. I get him to baseball. Then I do my homework. And what are you talking about? You can't just brush that off. Everybody tells me I'm a busy person. Everybody's like, oh, Gethard, you're busy. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Sleep till like 9:30, 10 o'clock every day. And I fart around on the internet while I sit on the toilet. And then I take a shower and I go and I stress out about comedy nonsense. Here you are. You got this kid. What's it, 13, 8th grade, 9th grade, freshman year?
8th grade, yeah.
8th grade, the worst year of life. You have a son who's going through what is everyone's worst year of life, 8th grade. You're getting him off with this positivity. You going to work. You work 9 to 5?
Yes.
5 days a week?
Yes.
And then you're banging out these online classes, and then sometimes you got to run down to campus with all these co-eds. You got this. You got to cook dinner for the kid. You got to check in with the boyfriend. This is miraculous.
Thank you.
And you're doing this all as a survivor.
That's what did it, though. That's what changed it. I kind of thought, like, this is what I want, then I got to do it. Do it now.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Do it now. You already waited long enough. You're already in your 40s. Like, stop fucking around and do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Do it now. And I'm enjoying it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's cool to hear. And are you studying something that relates to your current job, or are you like, nope, I'm out. I'm going to study something else?
No, I recently changed jobs a few months ago, and it's a little bit closer. I'm studying to be a therapist, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that private practice going.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
And then you know what happens you know what I noticed? A friend of mine who is a therapist pointed this out. Every therapist takes the entire month of August off. So you're going to become a therapist, get that private practice going. You've lived through so much. I bet that there's going to be a whole network of other people who have lived through similar things, and you'll have specific insight to them. You can help other people navigate these troubled waters that you've had to live through 3 or 4 times now. And then you take August off. Mm-hmm. You get that boyfriend, take you out to Portugal. I hear Portugal's real cool right now. I hear that's the coolest spot. Berlin. Nice. Everybody's saying Berlin. Live it. It's going to be great.
Wow. That sounds great. Gosh.
Hey. I didn't make it up. You're in the process of doing it. We all know that's your plan. I know that's your plan deep down. You've been planning this for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. And I love my therapist. She's totally changed my life. So if I could even do a quarter of what she does, it would be amazing.
That's awesome. I love my therapist too. She listens to the show. Hello to my therapist. Hey. Hello to my therapist.
Hey.
That's cool. So tell me about this.
I'm excited. I still have a while left.
Tell me about this boyfriend. What's the deal with the boyfriend? Good guy?
He's so good. He's he's really, really fantastic. Really, really awesome. Not only is he awesome, but his family is awesome and the best. And his parents are still around, and uncle and cousins and stuff. And I just really I'm just so lucky that if I don't have my parents around, that I have his awesome parents, and they love my son, which is really great too. And he's a really, I really lucked out with him. I don't know that we're gonna take a stroll down the aisle again, but we're gonna be together. We've discussed that we're committed, but I think neither of us is sort of ready to go get married.
Has he been married before as well?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So you both are like been through that. No thanks.
Right.
Wow.
Exactly. And it's not a bad institution. I'm not anti people getting married. I feel like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. And it ain't broke. So.
Yeah. And he's good. Him and your son get along?
They do. And he has 2 kids, also one boy at college, and one stays with us, every other week or so. And, they all get along pretty good. Pretty good.
I gotta say, I hope this doesn't sound horrifically insensitive. Outside of the fact that your entire family for generations has been ravaged by cancer, you really got life figured out.
Thank you. It took me a little while,
What's the secret?
I am
What's the key?
46, and I feel like it just happened, so.
Yeah, that's true. You've got wisdom. You've really lived. What's the secret? What's the secret to staying this positive?
That's a good question. I think I have, to some degree, always kind of been, a positive person. I think you have to kind of start out that way. But, I'm not just putting in a plug because I'm going to be a therapist someday, but I think having therapy for many, many years has been so helpful. And, now I just, I definitely had a different perspective on life now after kind of, one thing after another, divorce and my dad and my mom and me and, one after another. It just kind of like, I could either like lay in bed and cry every day, which I really couldn't do because I had a son, but, or kind of say, get off your ass and go do something.
Get off your ass and go do something. I think that's a good motto. I think that's a good, very real, applicable, non-melodramatic motto in life. Get off your ass, do something. Can I ask you something? This is gonna, people might get mad at me because this is gonna sound insensitive, but I'm asking it only because I'm genuinely interested. Because you just listed the examples of all the different things that you could have bought into, that could have led to a lot of negativity, that you're saying, nope, I'm not going to let those things define me. Out of all these things you've dealt with, can you rank them? Like which ones were the most, what were the hardest ones? Living through cancer, losing people to cancer, divorce. These are all things that can really create speed bumps in life. You've navigated those waters. You have a very happy life. Let's rank the horrors. Having cancer, losing someone to cancer, divorce. Which ones were most... Let's start with the least horrible to the most horrible, recognizing that they were all horrible. Or as I say, having grown up in New Jersey, horrible. That's how I said it growing up, horrible. Because I grew up in Jersey.
Excellent.
And then when I got to New York, everybody started making fun of me because I said horrible and terrible.
I was only a New Jersey thing. It's not a New York thing also?
No, that's the thing. The stereotypical New York accent that people talk about is largely dying out. I mean, pockets of Brooklyn and Queens and Staten Island and Jersey, but there is no such thing as that Jersey accent. That whole thing was just an SNL sketch. Nobody says Jersey ever. The Jersey accent sounds a little bit more like what the world recognizes as like the traditional Lower East Side like Jewish accent, I think, like a little bit more Woody Allen-ish, but maybe a little watered down. Horrible, terrible, coffee, dog, that type of thing. Anyway, let's rank the horrors. Let's rank the horrors. Losing someone to cancer, divorce, having cancer. You're going to tell us least horrible to most horrible, how they affected your life.
Well, probably had you asked me before all of this, a lot of this happened, I would have said the divorce was definitely the worst, but I now consider that actually the least horrible. I think it was the right course of action, and it's turned out fine, and my ex and I get along and everything, so that's definitely the least. I probably actually put my own cancer next in the least. And then my boyfriend, or I didn't include my dad in there, I guess. My dad probably after my divorce, and then me, and then my boyfriend, then my mom's passing, probably the hardest. I think it's almost a toss-up because, for the top two, because my mom is, I'm really going to, I feel like I'm totally, half bringing, this down and half not, because I'm not crying about it, but literally, no joke, the week after my mom passed away is when we found out my boyfriend had cancer. So it was such a crazy hard time of emotions. I almost kind of lumped them together, because we were right at the same time.
Wow, that is brutal. That is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
How long was your boyfriend dealing with it? How long did you have to be in the trenches on that one?
He had pretty hardcore treatment for, because my mom passed away in May. Probably 5-6 months, maybe not that long. Maybe 4 or 5 months was kind of he was really miserable during his treatment. And then kind of recovering from it, another couple months, just the side effects from the treatment. So yeah, probably about half a year total of really kind of in it.
And that's on the heels. That starts the week after your mother passes.
Well, we found out then. I mean, he didn't start his treatment immediately, but yeah.
How are you not curled up in the fetal position all day, every day?
I mean, right after my mom passed away and all this was going on, and he was miserable. I mean, there was a lot of hard times. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. There was a lot of tears, a lot of I don't know how I'm going to make it through kind of thing. Definitely.
Yeah, but overall, you're someone who wants to live a life that you love. That's what I'm picking up on.
Exactly.
You don't want to sit around dwelling. You don't want to sit around being negative.
Right.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. It's it can be nerve-wracking, especially with both of us. Having had cancer, and sometimes you get a little. I think it never leaves your mind of oh God, it's going to come back, and I feel something weird, or is this weird thing going to be something, and whatever. So it's hard kind of for both of us. We're both pretty rational, but I think we could both in our own heads kind of be no, So.
Yeah. I tell you, I'm really glad I'm having this call today myself, because I've been in a pissy.
You are?
Well, I've been in a pissy mood all day, and ask me the reason.
What's the reason?
Literally no reason. Just kind of woke up pissy and just decided to stay pissy for no reason. Things are going great. Things are going better for me than they ever have by anybody's standards, including my own. I've been on a hot streak. I got a great wife the past 2 years, and I just woke up like this. And I've been acting like that all day. And then I talk to you, and you're like, my whole life has been riddled with death, near death, divorce. But you know what? I'm going to get motivated, get a master's degree, travel, live, love, be happy, be cool with myself, make the improvements in my life I need to make both mentally and physically, so I can look in the mirror, feel good, know who I am, and attack life head on. And all with a smile on your face that I can feel through the phone as you're crouched next to an outlet at work. And here's me. I feel so pissy because I'm a comedian. I work for an hour and a half every night. That's me walking around like an ungrateful little shit. That's me. That's me.
Well, people are allowed to be in bad moods for no reason.
Yeah, you know what? The last thing this call should turn into is you letting me off the hook for my bad move. What a self-serving, shitty thing. Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you because I've like spilled all my guts, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot. What's the coolest thing? What's the coolest thing about being a single mom? Because if there's anybody that can find the positive in being a single mom, are there experiences you feel like you get as a single mom that you wouldn't have had if you were married to your son's father? That because if there's here's one thing I've learned about you in the past 37 minutes. If there's anybody who can find the positive in a situation other people view as tough, I'm on the phone with her right now. We're going to go ahead and pause right there. I'm going to tell you, I wasn't sure if that was a cool question to ask, but wait till you hear her answer. Really honest, and I enjoy it greatly. We'll be back with that answer and so much more after we hear from our sponsors. The holidays are here, and that means more so than usual. Even the post office, it's packed with everybody mailing holiday gifts. You have to get business packages or mailings out. You really do not have time right now to go to the post office. And here's what you need to do. You sign up for Stamps.com. Trust me on this. With Stamps.com, you can avoid all the hassle of going to the post office during the busy holiday season. Everything you would do at the post office, you do it from home anyway, where you sit in your underwear and do it. You're home. You live your life. Buy and print official U.S. postage using your own computer and printer. Then just hand it to the mailman and you're done. Sign up now. Within minutes, you can start buying and printing your own postage. It's really easy, really convenient. My wife's been using it. She loves it. She told me the other day. I just asked her yesterday, how you liking the Stamps.com? She said, it's easy to use and I'm saving money. It doesn't get better than that. That's an endorsement from my wife. She tells it like it is. Right now, sign up for Stamps.com. Use my promo code BEAUTIFUL for this special offer, 4-week trial plus a $110 bonus offer, including postage and a digital scale. Do not wait. Go to Stamps.com. Before you do anything else, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in BEAUTIFUL. That's Stamps.com. Enter BEAUTIFUL. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Remember, I just asked her, what's the best part of being a single parent? Let's hear that answer.
Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, it can be hard, certainly, but and we've been doing it for a while, too, so that makes it a little bit more easy on everybody, I think. But, funny enough, I think one of the things, especially when you have a teenager, is that he does week on, week off, with me and his dad. And having the week off is nice. I mean, I miss him. But usually, like, by the Sunday where he's going back with his dad, I'm like, okay, bye.
Yeah, I mean, a 13-year-old kid, having been 13, I can imagine my parents would have loved a week off twice a month, having dealt with me. Wow, that's pretty cool. And you know what? Let's go ahead and also give you an award for this. That's a very honest answer. And I think people appreciate it. What's the best thing about being a single parent? I get 2 weeks off a month. That is pretty basic. That's good. I like that.
I would say probably in the past, I probably had a difficult time when he was younger because he was, super, like younger and more like lovey-dovey, and now he's a little bit more mopey, but still a good kid. But yeah, it's nice to have a little break. But one more, I guess, a nice thing to say, which is true. This might also be just having one kid too. That like he and I, even since my boyfriend and I have been together, like still just do. Like my boyfriend and I will do vacations with each other and no kids. And then when we will often do like a trip, like me with my son and him with his kids separately. And it's really fun doing like one-on-one, like alone time, with my son and going on vacation, just him and I and stuff. And it always has been, forever when we've done that. So
that's cool.
It's nice. It's nice having that. And, you don't have another person there to change the dynamic.
And how's it? Here's something I have a question about parenting in the modern age, if I may. A slight diversion. Mm-hmm. Because I'm 36, you're 46. we grew up in slightly different ways, but your son is growing up in literally a different world than we grew up in. It's just a fact. There's things your son has grown up with that you and I are still like, are we living in Star Trek? Like cell phones and the internet. People forget, I'm 36 years old. We didn't have the internet until I was in like 8th or ninth grade. And I remember figuring it out. It was like by dialing into BBS systems. And you download, 8th grade boy, I'd download a nudie picture. It would take 11 minutes to see a boob. Like, that's what the internet was in the early days. Your son has grown up with this. So do you see things in your son and your son's experience where you're like, that is eerily close to who I was in 8th grade? Or is it just a different thing? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you still get to feel like, oh, I recognize the experiences he's having and bond with him over those in some way, or recognize them?
I mean, I would say for the most part, especially also being a boy too, I think it is a very different experience because girls, I feel like a little bit crazier at that age with hormones and such. But, the other day was kind of funny. We actually had a conversation where I took him to a movie. One day I took him to a movie, which is unusual, but so just the two of us, and I think he was like super like, oh my God, if someone sees me going to a movie with my mom, it'll be the end of the world. And so I kind of said to him like, oh, are you going to be really embarrassed if, you see a friend? And he was like, oh yeah, kind of. I'm like, I get it. I'm like, I totally like that too. And he was like, what? And I was 13 at some point, and I was totally mortified, about my parents and everything. And he just totally was like, I don't believe that, and so, I mean, some things, of course, don't change, but a lot definitely does change.
What movie did you see?
It's weird. We saw that middle school movie. It was a movie called Middle School.
Oh, I have to imagine I would never see that based on my my experience with middle school.
Right. Yeah, I think really you'd only go see it if you had a middle school age kid to take with
how is
you.
it watching a kid go to middle school? Middle school is the worst. Are you, like when your kid gets to 6th, 7th grade, are you just like, fuck, I remember what this was like. This poor guy's going to have to go through that. Everybody just raging with hormones and fighting, and the late bloomers are late blooming, and then you got another kid with a full beard. And everybody's just horny. Everybody's horny out of nowhere, and they don't even know what that is. Everybody just feels guilty all the time because they're horny. Is your kid dating? Does your kid have girlfriends and stuff?
Horny. Please don't say horny.
I'm sorry. That was too much. I am not a parent, so I can still make jokes like that. I'm sorry to put that idea in your head when you're the one who has a son. I meant that purely theoretically. Of course. Is your son dating? Does he have? Is your son feeling that out? Is that weird?
He definitely has had girls that he likes. He has told me periodically when I ask. I try not to pry too much because he doesn't like it. But no girlfriend. A couple friends of his have had a girlfriend, and I still don't really get what that means in 8th grade because I don't really remember what that meant in 8th grade for me. Because I kind of like, oh, did they kiss? They hold hands? And he says no. I don't know if that's truthful, but. Yeah, he definitely has, girls that he's interested in and stuff. And definitely this year has been a change in, like, every morning we have to make sure his hair looks good.
Whoa, he's stylish.
Yeah, so otherwise he looks, pretty typical 13-year-old shorts and T-shirt, but he likes to really, like, every morning we have to make sure his hair looks good.
So he's dressing just like everybody else, but hair, he's setting the bar. Setting the bar at the junior high school. That's cool.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's pretty shy. He's really into sports, and I think he wouldn't have any idea, like, what to talk to a girl about, like, if she's not into sports, like, I think he would be at a loss. But yeah, he's a good kid, but it is weird. I mean, middle school is weird, and it does kind of, like, cringeworthy, but something about high school kind of even next year freaks me out a little bit more. I think just more in the dating and, like, sex and internet and that kind of thing.
Things start moving real fast.
Mhm.
And how's that work as a single mom? Like, do you and his dad have to discuss like the actual like do you and his dad have to get on the phone and say like who's gonna do the birds and bees talk? Like, do you have to hash out all those different things?
Like what kind of talk did you say?
Like, do you have to like say like who's giving the birds and bees talk, or like who's gonna like there's different like parental responsibilities that are a little bit more about like life guidance. Do you have to like check in with his
Right.
dad, make sure that that's happening, or even discuss who's gonna do what?
I think it's been, no, not really. I mean, unless it's something that like we're talking about ahead of time. Anyway, like, oh, maybe we should blah, blah. But often things come up sort of organically. I mean, like I just talk a lot to him. I think I talk more to him than maybe his dad does. I mean, just in general, I just have more like asking more questions about things in his life. And so then I think things could tend to come up more like, I told him about the birds and the bees because he asked me, just happened to ask me because he heard something on TV. And yeah, that was crazy.
What show was he watching? Do you remember what show he was
Well,
watching?
it was funny because I was actually watching something and it wasn't even bad, but he heard the word sex and he was in the other room and came in and then was like, what's sex?
So he'd been looking for, he was like waiting for the door he had this on his mind, and then he heard it and he was like, that's my in.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
do you have that moment where you're like, oh, why did I have the volume up so loud?
Right, exactly. Well, it's funny because he was just kind of standing like in the doorway, and I was like, "Well, this is like a bigger discussion. That it's not like a sentence, So I'm like, kind of thinking he'd be like, "Oh man, whatever," I was like, "So if you want to have like a discussion, we can, but it's not going to take 2 seconds, And he was like, "Okay," sat down.
And you got to go ahead and pause, whatever you're watching that, you got to go and pause Blackish that night. You got to pause Modern Family. Have that. Wow.
Yeah.
How'd he handle it?
He thought it was disgusting.
Wow.
And this was several years ago, but yeah, he was like, oh, like that sounds horrible.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's kind of gross. Like physically, I mean, it's super fun once you get into it. Anyway, I don't know why I just said that. I got awkward. I got awkward about the idea of having a birds and bees talk, and you're the one who had to do it.
Yeah, it was pretty awkward.
Yeah.
It was pretty awkward.
And then
but I always, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, do you have to call his dad and say, like, well, he knows about that now?
I did at that point because that was kind of a big,
and I bet
big thing to discuss.
And do you think he's just like silently he's just like, yes, on the other end of the phone because he didn't have to do it?
I don't know. I mean, I think he laughed because he kind of, was like, what he, how he react and whatever. And, yeah, I think he was just kind of laughing like, ha ha, sucker. But, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I talked to him about a lot of stuff like that. I just, I want him, I feel like, I know like I was really sheltered when I was a kid and I didn't know like what stuff meant, at all. And I kind of try and like be really open about that kind of stuff. Like if something sort of comes up and sometimes I'll be like, do you know what that means? If we see something or one of his friends, sometimes I pick them up from school, friends will say something. And when they get out of the car, I'm like, you know what that means? And if he says no, then I tell them,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's okay for him to know what, certain things mean.
That's cool. What are these things? What are these things that these people are saying in the car that you're like, I have to sort this out?
There one time, I don't remember, like right before his friends got out of the car, there was some, can I say anything? I feel weird kind of saying this, but there was some like oral sex reference that I think they thought they were getting by me kind of thing.
Oh.
And
that must be so weird for you.
yeah. And it was sort of, and I really don't remember exactly what it was, but it wasn't like totally like an explicit, remark. But so I kind of thought that I didn't know what it was. Oh, I just said his name. Oh my
That's
God. Can
okay.
you bleep
We'll
that
bleep
out?
it. Yeah, we're going to bleep it. We're marking the time code right now so we can bleep that. Bleep the names. No names.
Oh my God, he would
And
so kill me.
I also want to
Thank
say too, we had one episode. Jared, did you know this? I don't think you produced this one. We had an episode where we told somebody we would bleep their loved one's name, and we bleeped it once and then left it in like 3 other times. And I got so many tweets. And I didn't even respond to the tweets because I was like, oh, that's bad. But we'll make sure we bleep that. We'll bleep that one. We'll scrub this one clean. So anyway, oral sex
you.
comes
Oh
up.
my God.
That's okay.
Yes, and so I asked him if he knew what you were referring to, and he kind of was weird and like, well, yeah, like he didn't want to. I'm like, it's okay if you don't. And he's like, no, I don't. And then like I explained it, and I just feel like if his friends are going to mention something, I don't want him to be like the one kid who's like, I don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah. And I would imagine there's another
I don't
layer.
know, maybe that's weird.
No, 'cause you know what? I don't know. I'm not a parent. I don't know if that's weird, but I think there's another aspect of it too, which is like if you would, because I remember me and all my little friends making jokes, but it's like if you always go like, well, here's the reality check of what that means, I bet that also means that your son is going to like think twice before just throwing things around casually, and it's probably going to make him a respectful dude.
I hope so.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, this isn't just like a thing to giggle about. This is a thing that people will deal with and you'll experience and other people experience, and maybe you should know what it is before the jokes fly around. I think that's a good policy.
Right.
I think that's a good policy. This is we packed a lot. Yeah, I tell you, we got about 8.5 minutes left. There's a lot of meat on the bones of this call. A lot of meat on the bones of this one.
I know.
We've covered a lot.
It went by so quickly too. I'm crouched down and I'm not even like uncomfortable or anything.
Your phone's still not charged at all, huh? You still haven't picked up a charge.
Well, I haven't taken that to look, and I just didn't want to chance it. I have kind of an older phone, so
I get that. Look at that. We've covered surviving cancer. We've covered being a single mom. We've covered how I'm kind of a crabby piece of shit. We've covered sex talks. We've covered everything. Whatever you need. How long until you get your master's degree?
It's going to be a while. It's kind of a slow program because because of all the other stuff that I'm doing. It's pretty slow, but I probably have like a year of like schoolwork, and then you have to do like internships and that kind of thing. So I probably have like about a year and a half before I graduate.